Okay, so we're going to take a look at an item here that I've had for, geez, over a couple years, but I've only used it, I think, a handful of times. I had originally purchased this before I even built my van out. It was just something that I had read about and was kind of starting to buy items for my van build. I originally had got this with the intention of using it more often than I am, but it's still something that I'll probably just hold on to and use every now and then. It's this portable oven, they call it, and this is what it looks like on the inside. It's not that deep. I'll put my finger in there, and it's about the same on top, so you can put something in there and still have a little room to spare when you close down on it. Now, I would not recommend putting stuff like directly in here, but I found that you can get packs of these bread pans, these mini bread pans at like Walmart, and put whatever you're going to cook directly in there, whether it's a can of stew or I have cooked biscuits in here, and today I'm going to try to cook some cornbread. I do like my cornbread. I was thinking of having cornbread and chili tonight for dinner, so I'm going to see if I can get some cornbread going. To be able to reuse these little trays, I line them with tin foil and then put the food product right in on the tin foil. When it's done, I could pull it out and then I'm able to reuse these trays. So that's what I'm going to do, and then we'll talk about how things turn out. Now, the way these ovens work is on the side they have this little compartment that houses the plug and cord. It's the standard cigarette lighter cord. So the cord just pulls out of there. It does have the cigarette lighter adapter type, and then it also has a built-in fuse. There's a little standard auto fuse plugged right in there. I don't know if we can lift it up and see that a little bit better. There it is, and there's a little indicator light when it's on. It comes with a 15 amp fuse because I believe it is 10. It should say on the bottom. Let's look how much power this actually uses. We'll get it closed up here. Trying to do this all one-handed. So on the bottom it says 12 amps, 144 watts. So it is pretty power hungry. Now, I would recommend not really using this unless you have at least 100 watts of solar and you're doing it during the day while the sun is out. Or the best way to use these is while you're driving. If you're on the road and you can put something in here before you hit the road, because it is more of a slow style cooking, this cornbread. We'll see how long it takes, but it'll probably take a good half hour at least. So we'll see how that goes. I know people that have cooked cookies in here. I have done biscuits before. I think actually that's probably the only thing I've cooked in this thing is biscuits. So I'm going to try this cornbread out. We'll see how that goes. What I'm going to be using is this Martha White yellow corn muffin mix. You can add either water or milk, so I'm going to try them out with just adding water, and I'm going to mix it up in a separate bowl and pour it into the tray here, and then we'll get it rolling. We've got a few more hours of sunlight here, so I'm going to get it done before the sun goes down. Okay, so I just took a little bit of oil and kind of spread it around on the tin foil there so it doesn't stick. And now next I'm going to mix up the cornbread mix. I'm probably just going to use half a package, so I'm going to try to measure out half of the mix and just use half the amount of water recommended. Okay, so I'm just using my little saucepan as a mixing bowl. I'm going to just eyeball this and just try to use half the package here, and then I'll slowly add water to bring it up to what I think would be the right consistency. That looks like about half to me. It is 1 cup of water for this whole package, so I'll try to use close to a half a cup of water and it should turn out right. Okay, so I'm just going to slowly add in the water. This is a half cup here, but I'm just going to go with almost all of it first, mix it up and see if I need to add any more. Okay, so I went ahead and added the whole package. I'm just going to go ahead and make up the whole box. My concern is that this is going to, when it cooks, it's going to rise up and not be able to fit in here, but I might as well test it out, see if it's going to fit. We'll all find out together. So now I'm just going to pour this mix into this pan. Yeah, it should all fit as it cooks. So I'll just be sure to get everything out of my saucepan here so it's easier to clean. So I'll spend a little time getting all that scraped out of there. Okay, so it basically filled this thing up a little less than half. It's only about right here. So hopefully as it cooks, there's going to be plenty of room in the oven. So we'll go ahead and get this into the oven and get the oven plugged in. Okay, so we'll open up the oven here. And we're going to set this in. Just try to get it centered. Now the way these work, the heating element is on the bottom. It's just seals around this, there's a rubber seal around the side so it holds in all the heat. So I noticed, like when I cook the biscuits, the bottom is going to get a little bit brown, and hopefully it'll cook evenly. So we're going to just kind of test this oven out, see how good it does this cornbread. Just go ahead and hit the little clip here, that kind of seals it. And then in my van, we'll show you where my 12-volt plug is. Okay, so on my 12-volt outlet, you definitely want to have this. I have this hooked up to my fuse box, and I believe I have a 20 amp fuse in there. It could be a 15 amp, but it's got to be at least 10 amps, otherwise this will blow your fuse because it draws 12 amps. So that's plugged in. I'm going to come down here, lift up this little door and make sure the light is on. It looks like the light is on and it's working. So I'm just going to let that sit there. I'm going to set my timer for about 25 minutes. We'll check on it. Directions say about 25 to 30 minutes, so hopefully it's going to work out and we'll have some nice hot fresh cornbread. Okay, so my timer went off. It's been 25 minutes. I was able to actually kind of hear it almost bubbling a little bit. The way these things heat, it actually feels like it gets the most hot around the sides, and these do get pretty darn warm even on the outside. That's why I kind of wanted it on a cutting board and not anything really around it. So I'm going to lift it up over here onto my little table, and we're going to check it out, see what it's looking like. Okay, it is definitely not done. It's still really liquidy on top. So this is going to probably take twice as long as the instructions say, I would guess. And I found that to be true with other things that I have cooked in here. So we're going to close it back up, and I'm going to set my timer for probably another 20 minutes. Okay, so we're going to do one final check here. It's been about 55 minutes to an hour for this cornbread. The directions said 25 to 30 minutes in an oven at 400 degrees. So we're at about, like I said, almost an hour, so pretty much double. It feels nice and firm. So I'm going to pull it out and see what it looks like on the bottom. Okay, so I've got it pulled out. I pulled down the tin foil a little bit, and it's definitely nice and brown on the bottom. Not burnt, but brown. And it is pretty thick. So I'm going to give a slice into it here and see how it is. Oh wow, it's actually nice. It's actually a little bit fluffy. That's a good cornbread right there. So there's the cornbread, kind of just sitting in the chili. I just like to take my spoon and break off a piece of the cornbread. So I got cornbread and chili. Okay, so here we are. Love that. So good. Awesome. If I really wanted to, I probably could have heated up the chili in the RoadPro oven also, but it would have taken quite a bit longer. For this short amount of time on the propane stove, I would much rather just use the propane. So yeah, it's a great in combination. If you do have a camp stove, you can get stuff going in the RoadPro oven, be preparing stuff on your stove, time it out to where you've got things all together. Or if you're making a dessert while you're cooking and eating dinner, you can have something going in the RoadPro oven the whole time, some brownies or something. Time it out so you've got hot, fresh brownies by the time you're done eating for dessert. So little things like that. It's a handy item. I really would recommend it. Not for everybody, but if you think that'd be something to use. That's the link I'll be leaving. I know a lot of people that swear by these. They've had them for years and just use them all of the time. There's so many different things that you can do with it. For me, the baking type stuff, cookies, brownies, cornbread, stuff like that. I'm going to experiment with some biscuits And I know other people that they've said that they've thrown cans of soup in here. They just remove the top of the can, close it while they're driving. They just do not have to use any propane or stove of any sort. They can just use it off electric, which saves on fuel. If you're already driving, you can plug this in and use the power from your alternator of your vehicle, or if you do have solar, you're using the power of the sun, so you're not burning any fuel specifically just for this. So I think it's a good unit. They're cheap. I think you can usually get them for around $30. Sometimes they'll be on sale or discounted through Amazon. So this is another item I have in my Amazon store. I'll leave a link for that. I am an Amazon affiliate now, and I have a little store with a collection of items that I use like this. So it'd be a great way for you to support me by shopping through my affiliate link. So yeah, the RoadPro oven. Thumbs up.